All right, everybody. Kind of a longer form, although I guess the videos are already pretty long, talking about Japan, talking about other things that happened. Remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly comment, share, support the channel if you can, if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. Super chat, PayPal, Patreon, super comment the video, super hype the video. If you want, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So, what do I have to say about Japan? This past trip and just life in general, thoughts about things that have been going on. There's not really a lot positive to say about this Japan trip, dude. Unfortunately, if I have to think about, again, this is going to be a mostly negative video, unfortunately. That's just my luck, I guess, but I don't have a lot positive to say about this Japan trip. I guess the Gente items were pretty good this year. You know, if you've ever been to Japan, they have like Gente items. They're like special things that they have for like a month or two. And I feel like the past couple times I went to Japan, the Gente items were kind of crappy. I was kind of disappointed in them. Nothing too interesting, but this time the Gente items, there was some fun ones, and that makes it kind of fun to eat something a little bit different, I guess. So that was enjoyable. I think for the most part, of course there were negative, but I think for the most part, most people people were pretty cool. There was a lot of positive vibes thrown my way. A lot of compliments. You know, I'm a human being, I guess. When people compliment you, it makes you feel good. So, I mean, I've said before, it feels pretty cool that you can. You know, I do get stopped, obviously, in America even and recognized, but it feels pretty cool to think that you get recognized even in other countries. And that makes you feel kind of special. And, you know, I'm not that cool, right? And so I've always said this before that if I can do it, you can do it, right? Like, I'm not that cool. And let's say for the fitness stuff or whatever, I even in, you know, I get stopped, well, obviously in America, but in Japan too, you know, I get stopped, people be like, how are you so buff and, and that kind of stuff. And I always say, dude, you don't understand this. Like, people have to realize, and I say this as motivation, the threshold to look impressive is not that much, dude. I'm not that big and people tell me I'm big. So if I can quotation marks fake being cool, you can fake being cool too. But, you know, I mean, I got recognized, you know, just I've been in Japan so often, I guess, so to speak. I mean, even just around the city, I could hear people whispering, is that the Final Fantasy guy that people talk about? That's the Final Fantasy guy, isn't it? I mean, I had groups of guys. I had one time a group of guys even stop me. They're like, you're the Final Fantasy guy that people talk about, right? And then, no homo, one of the guys came up to me and he's like, you know, you're popular with the boys too. And he like grabbed my dick. And I was like, okay. Thank you. But, you know, I mean, that, you know, no homo, but I guess it makes you feel pretty cool. Like, it's a petty thing, but again, I say it to be motivational because if I can do it, you can do it, right? Or you should be able to, you know, the threshold for being cool, quotation marks, isn't that big. But not even Japanese people, but I was recognized by other foreigners. They're like, are you the Final Fantasy guy that people talk about, Clayton? And I was like, I could not believe that. Even other foreigners in Japan were like, are you got to be the Clayton guy that people talk about? People are talking about there's a Final Fantasy. You know, I did get stopped by people for video games too this time. Nothing as crazy as, say, last time I was in Japan, people stopped me for Karna's Revenge, which is Karna's Revenge. Are you serious? But no, I did get stopped for video game stuff too, but you know, I even got stopped by, this was kind of funny. I got stopped by some idols, which was kind of crazy. Not like girl idol, but like guy idols. And Jesus Christ, I looked at their Instagram. They gave it to me. They got like hundreds and hundreds of followers. And, you know, they thought that maybe I was somebody famous and they wanted to like collaborate. And it was like, dude, I'm not famous. But I mean, that was, you know, it's a kind of again, it's a lot of petty compliments. Most people were pretty cool. There were a lot of positive vibes thrown my way, and that makes you feel special. That to be honest, I don't even know how many times I was recognized. I'm sure it was a lot, which is pretty crazy for someone that's not that cool. But sadly, there were a lot of bad things that happened this Japan trip. It went very badly. Petty things, okay. Gente items, okay. Everything else, not good. So let's scroll down. And unfortunately, I guess I'll try to draw the picture a little bit because I guess I didn't, excuse me. I guess I had not switched off the camera or something, or switched the pictures. So let's say let's go over some of the bad shit that happened this Japan trip. Obviously, my health has been I came into this Japan trip very sick. Obviously, if you've been watching the channel, I was given that shot that my doctors were not supposed to give me, which put me in a hospital. And I've been trying to fight my doctors with lawyers about it. And, the long story short of that is my doctors have admitted that it was in my record that I should never receive this shot, but they just don't seem to care. They're like, oh, well, whatever. And I've talked to lawyers about it, and the lawyers are like, we could get you $50,000 for it, but $50,000 is not enough to sue a big hospital, so you're kind of screwed. So they're like, yes, it's in your record never to get this shot. Your doctors gave it to you, but, ultimately, you're not dead, so we could probably get you $50,000. Yeah, they put you in the hospital, but, that's a shit show. Then right before I left for Japan, I got another infection. I actually got an ear infection, like when you're a kid. Who gets an ear infection as an adult? Well, immune compromised people do. And so that sucks. So I've had an ear infection. And, gotta take medicine for it like you're a child. It's terrible being sick, right? So yeah, I went to Japan being sick, and then I got the flu again when I was in Japan. So you know what? This trip, I did not have a single day where I had the energy to be out an entire day. I was only out for a few hours every single day. It sucked how much I was sick, dude. It was very, very disappointing to be that sick. And I was even sick stomach-wise, which is not a very normal thing to be. Normally, my stomach is generally pretty okay in Japan, but man, I was not doing good. Health not good. Very fatigued, and normally I like to get some cool background pictures in Japan, some nice sort of aesthetic sunsets, and I was never able to do it the entire time because I was just so sick. So that was very disappointing. Just talking about bad luck. So I've talked about this before. If you are a travel dude, if you travel more often than a normal person, you might know stuff like global entry, TSA pre-check. I've said this before, global entry has always worked perfectly every time I use it, but TSA pre-check has only worked once in my entire life. I don't know, it just does not seem to work. This time I thought it was going to work. Well, I was wrong, because after I walked through the metal detector and all this kind of stuff, I was trying to get my bag, then the police officer stopped me and they're like, why do you have so much Kleenex? I was like, what do you mean? Because I'm sick. And they're like, nope, you got to come with us. Dude, they investigated me and my Kleenex, dude. They're like, take out all your Kleenex. We got to look at this. Now, granted, I did have a lot of Kleenex in my pockets. I've been sick. But I guess it was suspicious to them. So TSA pre-checked did not fucking work. My Kleenex, I'm not joking. My Kleenex, dude. You got to be kidding me. Set them off. Too much Kleenex. Ridiculous. Now, I still got to call the airport about this, because I don't know if they then, when they eventually my bags went through and everything, if they then checked all my bags, because then when I got to Japan, I had brand new moisturizer, never opened, sealed, all that kind of stuff. And well, guess what? It was splattered all over my bags. So I got to assume that's a 1 in a million thing, that your brand new moisturizer could become unscrewed and then spilled in your bag. And Japan is pretty good with bags, so I still got to call the airport to be like, hey, Did you guys go through my shit and then you forgot to seal it up again, dude? You fucking assholes. Another thing you might be able to see. I, unfortunately, on the plane... Can you see my phone is black? Well... Do you see the colors? I slept, apparently, on my phone. So not only is one side cracked, one side is completely glitched out. I was like, dude, I slept on my phone. Like, literally, I was like, oh, well, I say sleep loosely. I did not really sleep on the plane, but I guess I apparently laid on it. And I was even like, woke up and I was like, oh, well, woke up. I say that loosely, right? And it was like, and then it just, I was like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me, my luck, dude. Thankfully, you know what, this trip, I gotta say, it didn't rain too much. It didn't rain this too much in Japan. Although, if you are someone that went to Japan for Halloween this year, Tokyo specifically, you probably feel pretty gypped because it was pretty rainy. Apparently it stopped raining once, you know, late at night, but I wasn't staying out that late anyway since I was that sick. But the first day that it rained, I got an umbrella, and this is just to laugh at like how unbelievable my cursedness is in life. Got an umbrella. It was at Family Mart. Walked down one street and the umbrella from the wind and rain broke. And I was like, one street, dude. One fucking street, dude. My umbrella broke. So, you know, there's so many convenience stores anyway in Japan. So I walked in. I don't even think it was 10 minutes, dude. Walked like 5 minutes. Like, well, there's a convenience store, I guess. Buy another fucking umbrella, dude. Unbelievable. What is it, like $5-10 or something? It's not much for an umbrella, but it was ridiculous. Just talking about bad luck. I ordered a pizza while I was doing my laundry one day, and you know, so I'm just sitting outside, you know, waiting for the pizza to come, and I'm like, it never came, dude. And I just think about like how weird that is. You think about the customer service in Japan. My pizza never came, and I'm like emailing them and messaging them like, where's my pizza? And they're like, oh yeah, we just lost your pizza. We don't know how we lost your pizza, but we'll give you your money back. This just seems so bizarre for Japan. And then when they paid me back, they didn't pay me back 5 cents. I don't know why. I guess, is there a certain, did they charge me 5 cents to give me my money back? It's 5 cents, but it's just, it's the moral of the story. Like, come on. Speaking of doing your laundry, now, this one, I don't want to totally blame. I don't know if it was stolen 100%, but, you know, doing your laundry, and then, you know, the next day, I'm like, you know, going to put on my underwear, and I'm like, dude, am I missing, like, shouldn't I have more black underwear? I just did my laundry, and so, I don't know, man. I mean... It's a public laundry mat, you know, whatever. I guess I could have, theoretically, I could have forgotten to take my underwear out, you know, because I left and whatever, and then came back. And so I guess it was technically left to its own devices for a little bit, but perhaps also somebody stole my underwear. It's Japan. I talked to some people about it. It was funny. They're like, Clayton, they're like, we believe your underwear could be stolen more than we believe that your wallet got stolen. Like, that's how rare. Like, dude, we can't believe your wallet got stolen. That is so unbelievable in Japan. But they're like, you're a good looking guy, so we could see that someone would wait for you to leave and then they would steal your underwear. That's Japan for you. Bracelets. Oh my God, another thing, dude. Do you know? Wouldn't be a trip without just an insane bad luck. I had 2 of my bead bracelets break. So if you can see this is obviously this is not a bracelet that I normally wear. This is the leftovers of 2 bracelets that exploded on my trip. And the thing is, this is the blue bracelet specifically is only like not even 2 years old. It's not like it's, and it's funny. How do you want to know that it broke? Me and friends were like, boom, boom. And they're like, no, dude, you can slap hands harder than that, dude. And like they do, and it exploded, dude. I know a guy messaged me, a Green Pool guy, and he's like, wow, that's kind of like your story of what you said for Akuma should happen to him. Ryu should beat him with like a dragon punch, and it should explode the bracelet off his, because it should be weakening during the fight, and it should explode it. And then that would be, if you watched how I would change this, the Street Fighter story. Like that bracelet on Akuma's neck is kind of like a scar that he killed his own brother. And Ryu should be wearing that down and explode it. What he thought was a trophy was actually a scar. And Ryu hits him with a dragon punch, it explodes. And then he sees what he thought was his trophy is all over the ground. And he realizes, I killed my own brother, and I'm not even the best fighter. I was beat by a guy who wouldn't go evil. But anyway. So that sucks. Wallet stolen. Again, I told that story. So bizarre. It would have never even happened, but that girl was following me around. I didn't even want to be in the area at the time, but she kept following me around, wanting to hang out with me. And I regretted that so much. I just always feel, you should feel good when you do something good or you help somebody out. But it just pissed me off so much because my chain wallet so my chain wallet snapped when I came to Japan too. So the chain snapped off it, which is, it's crazy to think that I've had a chain wallet since I've been, like a kid, just something always. But the first time my chain wallet snaps and I go outside, my wallet fell out of my pocket seemingly. And again, I say it's so strange because, again, I've always had a chain wallet since I've been like a kid, dude. And I just would never have been in that area, but that girl just would not leave me alone, dude. And I'm like, you know what? She's sad though. I'm doing a good thing. I'm doing a good thing for this person who is sad and wants a friend. And oh boy, I mean, I cannot believe, and I lost my wallet so quickly too. Like it all happened. It all happened within like 20 minutes, right? Bought some dessert, went to sit down. I would never even sat down there, but the girl just, oh, come with me. Or no, the girl's like, I want to go with you. I want to go with you. And I was like, oh my God, fine. Let's get this dessert and I'll sit down. Right. And then right when I walked down the street, I realized that I had lost my wallet. I'm like, ran back, wallet's already gone. Asked the attendants, like, oh, have you seen my wallet? We don't have it. Run to the police station. This all happens within 20 minutes. The police somehow already have my wallet. And all the money's gone. I don't know exactly how much money I had. At first I thought I had about $400, but then I forgot, oh fuck, there was also American money in there. So I probably had about 600, So it was like, oh my God, dude, I cannot believe I lost this much, But very disappointed about that. And then of course that turned into, the girl just was like a freaking stalker, dude. Like I thought I was doing something nice by talking to this girl. I gave her a hug when she was crying, but her behavior just kept getting weirder and weirder. And I could tell she was like flirting with me, and I was trying to like not reciprocate, and I was trying to like turn her down as gently as possible, dude, because, excuse me, she had said she had a tough life. I felt bad for her. But, she was saying things like, oh, well, me and you could get married if you want a Japanese visa. I'm like, no, dude, no. And then, at some point she's trying to like feed me. She like grabs my spoon and wants to feed me. And it's like, bro, we're just friends. Don't misunderstand this, dude. I can only assume maybe it's the first time someone has ever been nice to her or something like that, dude. Like she was not prepared. And maybe I was actually thinking, I was thinking about this today when I think about all this. Perhaps in a way, could you say it's my fault that I had totally forgot, or not totally forgot, but in a way it was not in the process of my thinking at the time. I've told that story before of how I've been with girls before in Japan, and people don't really talk to each other or care about each other there sometimes. and, doing, sexy time with girls. And I told the story before of how the girl was like, oh, I asked her before we did anything. It's like, if you don't want to do anything, just let me know. It's okay. And her reaction was so extreme. She was like, no one in my entire life has ever asked if I'm okay. She started crying, blah, blah, blah. So maybe when I think about it, if I think about it from that perspective, giving that girl a hug when she was crying, maybe that was also a earth-shattering moment. And maybe even though I was telling her I didn't like her and I didn't want to do anything like that, maybe she just still couldn't believe it because I gave her a hug while she was crying. I don't know. Yeah, but her behavior kept getting worse and worse, dude. I mean, dude, I told the stories, man. I mean, the things she was saying to me, she had written down, like, at first I was like, oh, maybe she's trying to be cute. That's very sweet of you, but you don't need to, bother yourself about it. Like, worry about yourself. I told the story that, she said she watches my YouTube and she was trying to translate it all into Japanese, and she had like a notebook writing about me. I was just like, that's cool, dude, but you don't have to do that. Worry about yourself. And, she had told me so many stories. And then she's like, look, she's like, how's your stomach? How's your stomach? I'm like, I don't know. What do you mean? My stomach? What? How's your stomach? How's your stomach? And it's like, what are we getting at here, dude? It's like, yeah, I have stomach problems. I'm sick, Yes, I get sick a lot. How's your stomach? And like, how's your stomach? Because I've already answered you. What's going on with you? And, she's wearing a jacket. So she's like, well, look, my stomach, I'm losing a lot of weight because I think about you. My legs are getting skinny. And I'm like, okay, bro. Well, I told you don't need to worry about me, And, man, dude, Jesus Christ. Then her and her friend, very suspicious. They were like, then they had the money for me. And I'm like, oh, this is very weird. This is a very strange coincidence. Listen, I'm not saying you took my money, but this is weird. And like, no, we want to give you money now because we feel bad. And, I tried to turn them down for like 10, 15 minutes and they just would not say no. I even at one point I took it. I'm like, oh, hey, thank you. Now you take it back because that's my gift to you. And they just wouldn't do it. So eventually it was like, okay, man, you guys have made me so uncomfortable by you guys following me, messaging me to hang out, all this kind of stuff, even though I don't want to. I'm trying to be nice to you. And eventually it was just like, you know what? After, like I said, 10, 15 minutes of this, finally I was like, okay, fine. Because what am I supposed to do? I don't make just $600 out of nowhere. I have medical bills to pay. So like, okay, fine. If you insist for this long, I'm just going to take it. But it just made things even worse. Then, she starts telling everybody she starts telling everybody that I'm her boyfriend and she's my girlfriend. And I'm like, no, dude, you need to stop this. We are only friends. Please stop. And she keeps going on and on, dude. And, I showed the pictures, dude, on my phone. She's like photobombing pictures that she's not even supposed to be in. If it's a girl that I've said is cute, she's like giving a stink face in the background. But if it's a girl I haven't said is cute before, she's like, like in the background. And it's creepy, dude. It's creepy to look at my phone and be like, dude, this girl is in the background of my pictures and she's like jumping in pictures, dude. Something not right with you, dude. You need to stop. And, she started going to other people, being like, oh, can you believe Clayton said this girl's cute before? Blah, blah, blah. She keeps trying to look at my phone. She doesn't want me talking to other people. And, eventually it was just like, you need to leave me alone. You got a problem. Leave, go. I'm out of here. And I remember when that happened, she had stormed off. And my guy friends that were there, like, oh, God. They're like, I think she finally understands. I'm like, thank God. Like, come on, dude. You are fucking a weirdo. You have like a mental problem. Please leave me alone. And then we could show, because I didn't get to show this because I had drawn this incorrectly. So let's draw this again. This is literally how she was following me then after that. So let's say we got let's say a point of destination that we wanted to go was here. All right. Bum, 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 boom, boom. Do 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 do. You know, let's say there's a road here. I mean, this is how crazy this girl started acting. So say we were like right here originally, right? And I finally see that she finally had left, and my friends are like, "Oh my god, finally she realizes you are not into her." And so like, let's go. This is our destination, right? So we start going here, right? And then all of a sudden, she starts following us. I'm like, oh my God, what is she doing? There she is, like following us through the crowd. I'm like, oh my God, I think she's following us. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, oh yeah, she's following us. I'm like, okay, guys, let's make a left and then start to go back. So we start to go back, and then she's like, and we're like, dude, what are you doing? You good? And she's like, oh, well, you know, I just thought that I should have all your friends' Instagrams because we're all like friends now, right? And they're like, okay, here, you good? Okay, goodbye. Leave us alone. So we start to go here. She starts to follow us again. We're like, oh my God, what the fuck is she doing? So we start running. We're like, oh my God, she's following us. And we're like, okay, make another left. You know what I mean? And so my friends are already over here, and I'm like, you know, I'm getting freaked out because I can see her. I'm like, actually looking back because I know she's like chasing after me, dude. And so I'm a little bit back further, and I like call to my kids. I'm like, guys, stop. We need to stop this girl, right? And so then my friends come back here, and we're about right here, right? And no joke, she's like this, dude. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You good, bro? And she's like, and I'm like, are you following us? And she's like, yes, I want to be with you, Jesus, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, please leave. And, you know, she starts doing this like head tilt thing. Like, I don't know if she's trying to be cute or something. And she like puts out her hands, dude. And we were like trying to be like, dude, you got a problem. You need to go. And she's like, please talk to me. Please. I want to be with you. And I'm like, do you want to like a high five or something? Like literally, me and my friends were like, okay, you got your high five. Please go. There's something wrong with you. You were like mentally losing it, dude. It was scary. At that point, it was pretty scary. And eventually she finally like, we thought she left, right? And my friends were like, whoa, dude. They're like, I didn't think it was that bad until she starts chasing us throughout the city, like down streets and everything. And well, long story short, she still was kind of following us, it looked like. And so we eventually, although we saw our destination was over here, where's my thing? We could see that she was still there. And like, oh my God, she's right there waiting. And so there was like a bench right here. And then we're like, hi, dude. And so we like hid until we finally saw her leave, dude. And then she walked away wherever, dude. And I was like, oh my God, dude. Insane. And, you know, my friends were like, dude, holy shit. And they're like, have you had that happen before? You know, because they're like, man, we see you get a lot of girls, but have you had that happen before? And I'm like, dude, that was like, I've never seen a girl lose it that quickly from just a few interactions of talking to them, dude. Very creepy, dude. And then, and you know, so then, you know, because she kept on saying, oh, I gotta see you tomorrow, I was like, yeah, okay, please leave, right? Then I was afraid to even leave the hotel the last day because she was so insane, and it was scaring me, right? As someone that has had stalkers, if you watch my channel, I mean, look at all the stalker messages I get. You know, I've had to call the police. You know, people have found out where I live. Very creepy. I don't want to deal with that, dude. And then, like I said, since I've been back to America, I felt safe to finally like block her on everything, dude. You know, she's writing that I'm an international romance scammer, that I had scammed her out of her money or something like that. She's like, well, how could he take my money if he was just going to block me? Bro, what is wrong with you? You're insane. And she probably is watching this now. Listen, dude, you have a mental problem. You need to go seek psychiatric help, dude. Like, I made it clear to you that I'm not interested in you multiple times. Every time the person tried to flirt with me, oh man, yeah, there's so many other conversations at one point. You know, I said this on the live stream. She's like, you need to apologize for how you treat me. You need to apologize for how you treat me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, I have not done anything to you. And it's over and over again. And like, I even start trying to speak Japanese to her. Like, I don't know if you don't understand English anymore because your brain, you're starting to lose it. You need to apologize for how you treat me. You know, you're not honest with your feelings. You know, you're just as beautiful as any actor, but you're not a good actor. Be honest with your feelings. Tell me how, you know, you have to apologize. And I'm like, something wrong with you. You're becoming cuckoo, dude. And I can even show, like, I remember after that first day that I saw her, people were coming up to me and being like, dude, you got to be careful about this girl, dude. She's messaging all of us about you. She's kind of got a mental problem. You know, you better be careful, dude. And I got a message. Here's a message I got recently from a girl, right? And you know, it's scary. Like, in fact, glad that I told you in advance because I could tell something is off. Yeah, so this person had come to me and been like, Clayton, you need to watch out for this person. They're messaging me about you. They're being really creepy. Like, I think they're like obsessed with you. And apparently, you know, they actually don't even go to Shinjuku or Kabukicho very often. And apparently when I was in Japan, they were there like all the time, apparently, right? You know, personally, me, I don't go there all the time. You know, I like to be, you know, some people are in Shinjuku and Kabukicho all the time. You know, people, I said it before in that video, you know, not everyone's a solo character. Some people like getting fucked up and do drugs all the time and get drunk and all that kind of stuff, right? You know, more power to you. You know, I guess everyone has their own life, but me personally, if you actually watch me in Japan, I like simple things. So most of the time I'm in Japan, you know, I'm doing suburb stuff, going to parks, going to, you know, suburbs, you know, just something peaceful, right? But apparently she was waiting there for me all the time, hoping I would show up. And, you know, I got multiple messages from people. That's just a example. And many people told me that they think that she was the one that actually was behind my stuff getting stolen. I don't know if that's true or not. I've actually said that I would hope that she wasn't. I would hope she's not that crazy, you know, but definitely very uncomfortable. And it was a very bad experience. And I hope that I never see that person again because having a stalker is scary, dude. It's not, I mean, you've seen, if you watch my channel, you've seen I have guy stalkers, people that pray that I'm gay, that I'm going to be with them. I have that dentist guy thinks that me and him were in some relationship that nobody else knew about. It's not cool having stalkers, right? So it's scary. I don't know what this girl, obviously a pretty huge mental problem, a very unpleasant experience. And it also makes me feel bad for being nice to a person, which is kind of sucks because you don't want to feel bad for being nice to somebody, but man, huge mistake. Hopefully that person gets the mental help that they sincerely need. Another weird thing that happened when I went to Japan, somebody had flagged all my accounts, so I had to deal with that for a while when I was in Japan. Somebody flagged all my social media. As me being a fake account again, I don't know how. I literally have videos showing that I'm a real account, even saying my name, but all my accounts got flagged. And then after that, somehow my videos and my posts got flagged as AI. What? I don't know. Is that a compliment? Do I look like I'm AI? I don't know. I got flagged as AI. I'm like, it's me. So then I had to like do videos and like talk to people like, I am a real person. This is me, which is, it kind of sucks though, because you would think that would mean that, oh, hey, we have proof that Clayton is real. Let's give Clayton back his original accounts that got deleted. But no, they did not. Finally, the hotel was pretty shit. God, the hotel was falling apart, man. The hotel I got this time was not great. That was not good. So anyway, I mean, that's my Japan trip was a clusterfuck of bad shit. Let me tell you, my God. Just like I said, this girl is still. People are sending me messages of what she's talking about on Instagram. She thinks I'm an international romance scammer. I like betrayed her love or some shit like that. Now I'm reading, she thinks like I stole her money. Bro. Jesus Christ. Dude, like, what is wrong with you? I don't know, man. I'm telling you, dude. I've had a lot of stalker problems, dude. I've never seen a girl lose it that quickly. And like I said, she was just like going like, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You want a high five? Please leave. Like, I've tried to be as nice to you as possible, man. What do you want me to do? But besides that, generally most people were pretty cool. It wasn't like that one time that I went to Japan and people were making up some kind of weird rumor that I was a undercover police officer or whatever. And then people acted very strange to me that whole trip, which really sucked. Which I actually did I did have a girl come up to me today, this trip, and she was like, hey, I kind of realized everything was a misunderstanding when all that happened. And I was like, oh, okay, well, but generally people were pretty cool. Like I said, mostly positive vibes, but one extremely, extremely negative vibe that was honestly scary. And I don't know when I will go to Japan again, but it makes me think that, thank God, because some people were actually recording, I showed before, they were recording how weird this girl was acting, and they're just like, what is this girl doing, dude? So thank God, and obviously, I don't know. Do I need to go to the police if I ever go to Japan again and she shows up somewhere? I mean, it's scary, dude. One guy was telling me too that she is what was he saying? He was saying that she wears some kind of pendant that actually means she has a mental illness and that you have to be like nice to her or else she might start screaming. And he was telling me, he was like, yeah, she wears like a pendant, and if somebody wears this pendant, it means you have to be nice to them or else they might start screaming. And he's like, she's insane, right? So I don't know, I guess apparently. So I don't know, just what a negative vibe, dude. Just I would like to go to Japan and have fun too, but health stuff, and then man, that girl, she just really, what a unpleasant experience, dude. I don't even know, man. Just anyway, remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly comment, share, support the channel if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks. Oh, fuck, I did want to talk about something else. This video is long enough, though, so we'll talk about it another day. I forgot. There is actually one other important thing I want to talk about, but this video is long enough. We'll do it again another time. The end.